Hello everyone. Welcome to the faculty series of EOD Talks. Today we have one of the most liked professors on campus, Sreedevi ma'am. She has been associated with highly reputed education institutes like IIT Delhi, IIM Bangalore, and now she's teaching us the nitty-gritties of operations in SPJIMR. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving your valuable time and being on the podcast series.
Thanks, Arnav and Adisha. Thanks for this opportunity.
That's a rather interesting introduction, Arnav, because she's been associated with such big names. And today, I think one more big name is going to be added, which is the EOD Talks. So, ma'am, how do you feel about this?
Oh, it's wonderful. I count it as a privilege, especially, talking to students and sharing my experiences. I think I always count it as a privilege. Yeah. I enjoy it.
Likewise, ma'am. It has always been a pleasure talking to you as well. So, ma'am, we have bifurcated this particular episode into 3 segments. The first is Teen Patti, the second is Know Your Professor, and the third is Next Big Thing. So, we'll be taking you along these segments as and when the episode proceeds.
Sure.
Okay, so let's directly dive into our first segment, which is the Teen Patti, as Arnav said. We will be giving you cues, ma'am, and you tell us the first 3 things that come to your mind. And we would love for you to be as candid as you can because we really want to explore the fun and quirky side of yours in this video of ours. So, are you ready for it?
Yes.
Okay,
All set.
Okay, ma'am. So, I think this is the first time a student is going to tell a professor, all the best.
Yeah, and I'm also very nervous.
Yeah, but don't worry, you don't have marks. So, I think you're just going to pass with flying colors anyway. Yeah, so my first question I'm going to shoot at you is tell us 3 unconventional apps that we would find on your phone today.
Like you youngsters, I don't have any, barring the, the Audio Bible app. That's the only unconventional app that one can find on my phone. That's a little boring, but yeah, that is all.
Well, just a follow-up on that, as we are also asked, like how much time do we spend on our phone? So, is there any limit which you have set for yourself, or like how much time do you normally spend on your phone, ma'am, in a day?
Oh, it's an addiction, I think the moment I get free, I start looking at my phone, simply scrolling, looking at different videos on my YouTube or, looking at WhatsApp. So I have not kept a cap, but I think it's high time I do.
Okay, thanks for that, ma'am. The next question is regarding your 3 favorite spots in SPJIMR.
Of course, the lakeside. The second one would be, my office room, my old office room that was close to Bistro. So that place I used to eat, sleep, take classes, drink, everything in that office room. It used to be a very secluded place, very calm. And it also had a window that was facing the roadside. So I could see students walking, which student is going around with whom and all that, So all that information I used to get. So it was really nice, but now I've got shifted to another room. So that's another favorite spot of mine on campus. And the third would be, the sitting area outside Shilu's. I really like that place.
So I remember this one time during Diwali night, I think you bought this dessert for all of us and we absolutely seemed to enjoy it. So my next question is relating to that. So tell me any 3 things that you would love to cook on any given day.
Love to cook. Chicken biryani.
Okay.
Tandoori paneer, maybe. And of course, kheer. Yeah, these 3 things.
So there's something for veg and non-veg both.
Yes,
so
yes.
That's amazing, man. So as Alicia mentioned that cooking is one of your favorite pastime activities. So 2 other favorite pastime activities of yours, which you normally like to do to vent out.
Yeah, I love talking to people. So that's one of my best pastime activity. Of late, I have developed this pastime. So, reading books to my daughter because she always wants to spend time with me and she keeps bringing books, Mama, read it. So I've developed it as a pastime activity. I started enjoying it. Earlier, I didn't. So that's the second thing. And I also love to watch wildlife documentaries.
Oh, that's very interesting, ma'am.
Okay, that's something that we didn't know and it's pretty interesting. Tell me 3 things that we would always find in your bag, no matter what.
Always find in my bag?
Yeah.
My laptop, of course. A purse, but with no cash. And the third thing would be a water bottle, maybe.
So the next question is, ma'am, regarding something which you were asked in the PG lab. So we just want to reverse the table and ask it to one of the professors as well. So 3 essentials which you will carry if you're trapped in a mountain and you have to live by those essentials. So what would they be?
Okay. A lot of food, water, and a warm jacket.
That was a very quick and a logical response, to be honest.
Ma'am, this is a very interesting question, actually my favorite. Tell me 3 nicknames that you were given at any point of time in your life.
Oh, okay. So I remember when I was small, I was just 1.5 years old. My mother was pregnant, with my younger brother, and she used to have, that early morning sickness. So she used to, before the sun rises, she used to complete all her work and put all the three of me and my elder brother, both of us on bed, and she'll also sleep. So on a sunny afternoon, I just got out of the bed and I went and sat in the hot sun, opened the pickle pot and ate almost half the pickle. And then my stomach was bloated and I had loose motions for almost a week. So they used to call me pickle pot. So my daughter also knows it and she called me, your name is pickle pot. So that's one nickname. The second nickname was I used to be extremely skinny. So they used to call me mosquito in my school.
Oh no.
So that's the second one. The third nickname my daughter has given, she loves fruit, so she keeps, giving fruit names to us. So she calls me, so she gave me pomegranate mama. So, but she calls me Bromi. Hey, Bromi, how are you? So she says.
How cute is that?
I think the third one is the only one which is acceptable, like out of these 3. So yeah, so I think we're done with this segment. And moving to the next segment. So the next segment is known as KYP, and it is referred to as Know Your Professor. So as the name suggests, we'll be trying to know more about you rather than we already know through our classroom. So I'll be shooting the first question. So ma'am, if you weren't a teacher today, what else would you be?
People say I would have been an activist. But I think, yeah, I would either be an activist or, I would be a lawyer, maybe.
Okay.
So is it, like, just to follow up on that, is it something that you actually considered?
No, I didn't. I think during my time, we had only 2 options, doctor and engineer, nothing else. So I so
Right.
wish I had that kind of an exposure at that point in time.
Right, ma'am. So my next question is, it's 6, 7 a.m. in the morning and we always see you like walking around the campus, right? The only difference is that while we go to bed, you just started out and, you just started your day. So I would want to know one thing that no matter how hectic your day is, right? It's something in your fitness regime that you would never miss out on.
I think the basic stretching exercise, I think that's very, very important because the fact that we keep sitting throughout the day, I guess, that's very important. Stretching exercise, even if I don't go for a walk.
Thanks for that, ma'am. And ma'am, just like what Alisha asked, that when we are walking around the campus, we like bump across you, and then you remember us by our names, right? You call us by our names, and then we also like smile at each other, and that makes a day as well. Like when you're going to the classes. So just wanted to ask you that is there any trick which you have in mind to remember all the students' names, because they are fresh people who are coming on campus every year.
So I mean, like, I don't think I would remember everybody's name, but yeah, majority of their names, because one thing I insist in classes that the people carry their nameplates, so that really helps, and the more the amount of time I had spent with them in the classroom, I think that also helps me remember the names. Apart from that, I really love talking to students. So, while go walking, I just stop and talk, and then, those informal conversations actually helps me get to know students more. In fact, my husband and my daughter, they keep making fun of me. They complain that I love my students more than I love them. So I think that is so, because I think where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So I think I love spending time with students. So that's also one of the reasons as to why I am able to remember some of their names.
Thank you, ma'am, for that. So, is there any particular saying or a quote that you live your life by, or something that's really close to your heart?
Yeah, so I like this quote by C.S. Lewis, which is on humility. He says, humility is not thinking less about yourself. It is thinking about yourself less. Humility is not thinking less about yourself. It is thinking about yourself less. So it's basically it's based on a verse from the Bible which says that, do not only think in the interest of your own, but also think in the interest of others. And in humility, consider others better than yourself. So I think these lines have defined me, who I am as a person, and my actions in different situations.
To be honest, that's very enlightening, ma'am, for us as well. Thanks for sharing that. And now a little fun question. So because there are so many instances which happen in the classroom on an everyday basis, so is there any funny incident which you can remember on the tip of your hands and can share with us?
Yeah, so Ardav, I thought, there are several funny incidents, but unfortunately, I'm not able to remember any, but then I used to cold call people and, pass them funny comments, and then people used to laugh and all that. But if you want me to pinpoint, it's very difficult. But then some memorable moments, maybe I can say, I remember one student had recited a poem based on what has been taught in the operations management course in all those 18 sessions. And that really was like, wow. He remembered everything and, made it into a poem and recited that. And there were times, especially during online classes, wherein people used to stay back after the class, spend about 45 minutes to 1 hour discussing the subject and, beyond that, having personal conversations. So I think those are some moments that I really, really cherish with my students. Yeah, but I don't remember funny moments. Sorry about that. Bad memory.
No problem at all, ma'am. And regarding the first incident, I remember that after we go through the PPTs in your class, you make us summarize that. And I think that is very beneficial for us to remember all the concepts which we do in the class on an everyday basis. So that has helped a lot, ma'am.
Thank you.
So, ma'am, this is also a rather interesting question. So, if you had the opportunity to attend any professor's class, who would it be and why?
Can I name more than one? Is that okay?
Yeah,
Or
of course, ma'am.
So it would be Dr. Ranjan Banerjee, Professor Renuka Kamath, Professor Preeta George, and Professor Nilendra Singh Pawar. I think I have had the privilege to sit through all this. All these people's sessions, and then I think they are great teachers. I've learned a lot from them. So I love these teachers, these professors.
Amazing. And ma'am, the next side of this question is that suppose the professors are attending your classes, right? And we know that you normally don't cold call in your classes, but if you had to cold call one professor, who would it be and why? If all the professors are attending your classes.
I would cold call Professor Suranjan Das. He is a very witty professor, so I would love to hear his funny answers. So I would definitely cold call him.
Sure.
Right, ma'am. So I think another interesting question is, I think we would need your phone for this. So we would quickly want to know the last thing you Googled.
Last thing I Googled. Interesting. Let me check. I don't remember. How to clean fridge which has fungus.
That's rather interesting. And if you would want to share why.
Oh God, last night I just got up and I was feeling very thirsty and I was feeling hungry. So I just opened the fridge and there's some fungus on the side of the fridge and I was like, oh God, I will have to clean up my fridge. So I was just Googling today, how to clean up fridge. Just
Did the Google search help now?
Yeah, of course it helped. Yes, it did.
Ma'am, once I Google searched that how to clean my room, right? And Google gave me the first response that 5 reasons not to clean your room. So that was the search result. So after that, I imbibed that advice and never.
Wonderful. Wow.
Right, ma'am. So with this, we come to the end of the Know Your Professor segment and move to the last segment, which is the next big thing. So this would be about focusing on what's coming and if there are any issues or pressing issues that we are facing as students and something we would like to have your gyan on. So I think one very pertinent question right now for the first year specifically is a lot of them have work experience, they don't have work experiences. And because you were in the same position back then, we know exactly how they feel because MBA is just not about studies. It's about doing extracurricular activities, this case competitions and so many things. And more often than not, there's FOMO, there's stress and so many other things that come along with it. So if there was anything that you would want to share on this that would help them and also us, to be honest, to make the most of this journey, and also how do we navigate our way through this and make the most of where we are.
Yeah. So I think many people come with this thing in mind that how do I get a good job from my dream company, right? That is the thought that runs through their mind, and anything that they come across in class, they immediately relate to, would this be useful in my workplace? Would this be useful in helping me crack my, interviews? Then I would pay attention. If not, no. Right? I think that's a bad approach, I would say. And plus, given that SPJIMR is one of the top B schools, we would obviously have, participants from different colleges who've been toppers, who've really done well in their class. So obviously, the fact that the MBA makes you get into a rat race, and then there is relative grading. There has to be somebody who would be at the top. There has to be somebody who's at the last, right? But that does not mean somebody who has secured an A plus is the most brilliant, and somebody who has secured a B or a C is not intelligent enough. But it's just that the system has made you that way, right? So my advice would be, don't compare yourself with others. Make the best use of your time, in learning new stuffs, be it case competition, be it in your classroom, group projects, whatever it is, right? But don't measure your success based on how you have achieved with respect to your, your colleagues, your, cohorts, right? I don't think that's the best way, because, then you will always find somebody who's ahead of you. You'll always find somebody who's behind you. So either sulk that somebody else is ahead of you, or you rejoice that somebody is behind you. But that is not the approach, right? So I think success is something, your idea of success, oftentimes, dictates how you decide, what decisions you make, what actions, how you respond. So it's important that you have a good understanding of what success is on your mind, and then that helps you stay calm and not compare yourself with others. That is what I would say to the first year students. To the second, so remember, some of you might have got into a dream job, some of you might want to convert that into a PPO, right? But remember, for you, that is the company, but for the company, you are like anybody else, and so much more that you're going to be there only for 2 months. Many companies may not even have a project in mind, or even if they have, it may not be aligned with your specialization. I have seen finance students getting operations project and vice versa. I've seen IM students getting operations project and operations students getting IM projects. Like, the fact that management itself is interdisciplinary, and then, that gets blurred, the specialization gets blurred. So do not have don't think that, yeah, this is a project I want to do and I should get it, right? Many a times, even if they may not have a project on mind, and even if they have one, it may be very unstructured, and the deliverables may not be, clearly laid out. So what do you do under such circumstances, right? So it's important, I believe, based on my past experience and interaction with your seniors, I would say that the most important skill that you ought to have during your internship is your people management skills, right? Your ability to, follow up with your reporting manager for information, for data, for work, whatever it is, without irking that person. Right? Because they would have 10 other things on their mind. You may not be their priority, but for you, that project is your priority. So it's important that, you're able to gently nudge the person and not just not irritate them. That's one thing. And the second thing is, don't worry about the outcome. Be only concerned about the things that are in your hands, right? Whatever information has been given, can you learn some new tools while, you're doing your internship? Like, many people have done it, right? So whatever is in your hands, do it, give your best, and don't worry about the outcomes. That's all I would say. And the other thing is, like, many times students have realized that this is not the company that I want to be, or this is not the role that I want to do in the long run. But because they are, very uncertain about their final placements, they just, do not speak about it to the reporting manager or to the company, But I would suggest, like, even if you have the slightest of doubt, you take that risk. Right? Go talk to the person and say, like, look, I don't think I would be interested in this role, or I would, I remember one student who was not interested in that role. He spoke very, openly, and then he was given another role and he accepted the PPO. So you never know how it happens. For another student, she did very well and she was quite confident she'll get a PPO from her dream company, and she did not get. And she was wondering, why did this happen? She called up her reporting manager and asked, like, what happened? I just want feedback. Why is it? Then the reporting manager was shocked that how is it that you were not shortlisted? There was some, error from their end. So all these things would happen, right? So be open, outcomes not in your hands. Do your best. And if you don't like it, please talk and then, wait for your final placement. So I think these are the things that I would want to tell both the first and the second year students.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that. And it was really insightful and will help both the batches. I'm sure it will help a lot. And that brings us to the end of the episode now. Thank you so much for having such a candid conversation with us and giving your valuable time.
Thank you so much for
thank
this
you.
initiative, guys. I really appreciate this, and thank you for the opportunity. I really enjoyed, as usual. I love talking to my students, so I really enjoyed this.
Thank you
ma'am.
so
The
much,
pleasure was
ma'am.
ours.
See you.
Thank you.